Hello everybody, this is not fancy, this is truth. And work scrubs, I'm ready to head out the door. You can see in the background my Mountain Dew. That is, aw, that's precious. And that is excessive but necessary. I try to stick to preferentially coffee more than Monsters or Mountain Dew because they're not as bad for your health. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Formerly diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, they still don't know whether my medical issues are underlying the chronic fatigue syndrome or not, or whether it's chronic fatigue syndrome. My psychiatric medications and my stimulant consumption has risen to 3 to 4 cups of coffee in the morning, and 1 to 2 Mountain Dews, or 1 Mountain Dew and a Monster. So that is like 6 to 8, which is excessive. If you drink too much caffeine, you can give yourself a heart attack. It's really not good for you. Monsters especially, and any type of energy drink, because all the chemicals and everything, it's really not good for you. But I've been pretty desperate. My body is adapting to the medications, and they're no longer effective. It's like giving stimulants to someone with chronic fatigue syndrome is like putting a Band-Aid over a hole in a sinking ship, bailing it out with a teaspoon. It covers up the problem temporarily, but it doesn't solve the problem, and eventually your body adapts. And there's only so much caffeine, again, you can put in safely without giving yourself a heart attack. And your body adapts to medication without finding an underlying cause. I'm just in an endless cycle of trying to keep my job and my life functional. I'm not buzzing around with energy, for sure. I do a lot of positive self-talk and techniques that I've been taught in therapy and things, and I have to support myself, and you don't get to quit being an adult because you get sick. Is what it is. You don't get to quit your relationships, and you don't get to quit your kids if you have them, and you just don't get to quit because you're sick. So I've been doing this damaging, dangerous walk, and hopefully I will be able to talk to my doctors about adjusting the medication upward so I can bring my caffeine back downward. I'm still sleeping 6 to 8 hours a night now that my sleep resolved from the antipsychotic fiasco. And I had like 4 days of nonstop sleep and then 2 days of no sleep. I'm back to 6 to 8 hours a night, despite all the stimulants, and I'm just dragging my feet through a day. But I can't up my caffeine. I should be downing it dramatically, so I'm going to ask for medication increases. But it's like I said, it's like bailing out a sinking ship with a teaspoon, or throwing a blanket over your messy house, all the shit on your couch, so you throw a blanket over it so it doesn't show up. When the neighbors come over, they can't see it. You kick it in a closet. It's still there. It's covering it up. It's not fixing it. So I'm hoping that I can get to a medical resolution, or if it is straight chronic fatigue syndrome, that my medication gradual adjustments and gradual downgrading of caffeine and self-care, proper nutrition, all the proper things that I'm supposed to be doing, I'm doing, outlast the disorder, or I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And to make this picture more complicated, I'm duly diagnosed, there's a whole playlist on it, with bipolar. And it's critical for bipolar people to get enough sleep, because lacking in sleep can trigger an episode. Excessive caffeine intake and stimulants have not interfered with my sleep. I still pass out exhausted at the end of my work shift, and I'm still dragging my feet around all day long, dragging myself around, one foot in front of the other. Just positive self-talk all the way. Literally, sometimes I have my headphones in, and I'm just listening to loops, the same loops of positive affirmations over and over and over and over and over and over again. Like Rocky, listen to I Am the Tiger. Just on repeat, like, you can do this. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Just don't stop moving. And just don't stop moving till I get home, and then I go to sleep. But if I keep tweaking my medicine up, I could eventually interfere with my sleep in order to keep my energy up through the day. If I drop my sleep at night, that could precipitate a manic episode. So I have to be careful that that could happen before the capacity to continue to raise the medication that's really just hiding the problem, not fixing it, runs out. It could boost the mania to start happening before I tap out on my capacity to continually dosage range, because there's an amount of medication you can range to before you run out of ranges. You can't update anymore, and your body adapts each and every time. And then when I'm out of stimulants, what do I do if I don't have a resolution to either the chronic fatigue syndrome or the underlying medical condition? And I am just bedridden, non-functional. I don't know which way to go to approach an antidepressant approach or more stimulants. I don't know what to do, but it's a careful and complicated process, and I'm trying to coordinate. I have a follow-up again with rheumatology, immunology in 3 months. They're dealing with the medical aspect of things, and psychiatry the second, and I'm going to have them communicate yet again and see if we can coordinate. And I'm going to have this frank discussion that I'm having with you all, with them, both of them. What happens if the illness outlasts the ability to alter my medications? What am I supposed to do to live at that point? And also, what can we do with my medications? Because it has to be very carefully approached, because I am, despite being covered by a variety of different types of medication for my bipolar, I am bipolar. And I have a history of a couple of different psychotic breaks, and we don't want to go down that road. So it's tricky territory. Comorbidity. Comorbidity is typically something that's talked about. It's when you have two coexisting conditions. Typically something that's talked about in reference to addiction and psychiatric disorder, eating disorder, psychiatric disorder, personality disorder, psychiatric disorder, or two comorbid physical conditions. My situation, I have some physical conditions, and comorbid psychiatric conditions. And the two are like walking a tightrope to try and navigate. And at this point, I feel as though I'm still navigating it alone. So I need to have this conversation with my rheumatologist, immunologist, and with my psychiatrist. I had the previous conversation I said I was going to have, and my rheumatologist did not box me in due to psychiatric history. She believes there's something medically wrong with me that they're going to continue to look for until they crack the code. And even if it is written down to ME, CFS, and fibromyalgia, that they believe that those are legitimate disorders, are not coming from the paradigm of beliefs that they are psychiatric conditions, that they are central nervous system conditions. So although your stress definitely plays a role, because it plays a role in your autonomic nervous system. With all of that said, I need to run off to work, although there will be no running involved. And if you have a complex situation, many different doctors, many different conditions, physical, mental, both, either or, it can be really difficult to navigate on your own. Try to keep as coordinated records as possible. Try to keep records. Keep on top of the doctors. Ask as many questions as possible. You have to advocate and push for yourself. You will be let down. You will feel at a loss. You will feel confused. Many times over. But you're still here. And you got these things in your hands. That is the situation that constitutes your life. Be they physical challenges or mental challenges or both. And you're still left holding the pot. And you can slowly sit there and do nothing and begin to shrivel away and worsen and decline. Or you can claw away for yourself, even if it seems like it is slow, precarious, exhausting, potentially going in circles and you don't feel like you're getting any groundwork, and continue to try to advocate for yourself and move forward for yourself and get better, doing best practices as you know them to be, and try to get a medical advocate if you can to help you navigate this confusing dynamic. Not be the only voice speaking for you or the only pair of ears and eyes in the office taking it all in and keeping track of it for you. And it's best to let all of your doctors have releases for all of your other doctors so they can help have a total picture of what's going on with you, for the best totality of treatment. So there's not overlapping medications and there's not confusions about missed pieces that you forgot to tell one person to the next person. It's too much for you to manage when you can just let them try, instead of like playing the phone game where this one speaks to that one, speaks to that one, you speak to that one, you speak to just let them talk to each other, is the best avenue. So Those are my thoughts for the moment, and I'm also just putting off going to work. Love you guys. Happy Friday. This is real time. Real time. Oh boy, yeah, I really need to go. Oh, I have 2 masks in my pocket. I don't need both. Good morning. Good morning. It's not morning anymore. Good day. Goodbye. Good luck. Enjoy your life. Whatever bag you got in your hand, it's your bag. And it's up to you to manage it the best way possible, because no one can for you. But get as many resources as possible and don't stop. No matter how tired you get, don't stop. Nothing good comes from that. Unless you're manic, then stop and go lay down and go to bed right now. If you can. Love you guys. Goodbye. That was so rambly and nobody cares, but I just had to spit it out. Gotta go to work now.